Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about the top 10 best places to visit in 2021. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. We had to examine elements we'd never had to consider before while compiling our list of the top places to visit in 2021. After a year marked by grounded planes, restricted borders, and mandatory quarantines, having a list for 2021 that is both realistic and inspiring seemed essential. We looked for sites close to home with new reasons to come, such as Tulsa, which is celebrating 100 years after the race massacre, or Nova Scotia, which is making its famed coastline more accessible to travelers, not knowing how much freedom we'll have in the next year. No matter where you're thinking of going in 2020, one thing is certain: our desire for travel and enthusiasm to get back on the road hasn't faded in the least. Number 10. Addis Ababa Unity Park. In recent years, Ethiopia's profile has soared. The introduction of an e-visa in late 2017 increased tourism by 48.6%, while Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed captured the world's attention when he was given the Nobel Peace Prize in 2019. Despite the influx of tourists visiting Ethiopia's 9 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the country's historic capital city remained a mere stopover. Until today, there were no green spaces in the city and little opportunities for outdoor activity. Unity Park, a multi-dimensional museum complex that spans 40 acres of the former Imperial Palace grounds, opened in October 2019. Visitors may now stroll through bright murals that frame native plant and sculpture gardens, as well as tour cultural pavilions that showcase Ethiopia's 9 regions. The exhibit, Faces in the Shade, delves deeper into Ethiopia's past, and chronicles the Red Terror era, when the communist Derg regime deposed the monarchy, with accounts of torture from former political prisoners. Number 9. Angola. This is the year to travel as far as you can and really test your boundaries. Richard Bangs, a legendary adventurer and co-founder of Mountain Sobek, is the man for the job. Bangs will lead the adventure outfitter's first 9-day journey into one of the world's most isolated biospheres, the UNESCO-listed Okavango Delta's Angolan Wedge, in June. Despite beginning and ending in Botswana, which receives 8 times the number of international visitors, this unique trip explores Angola via breathtaking helicopter tours, thrilling boat safaris, and 4x4 game drives. The embryonic tourism economy in Angola belies the country's many assets, which include a 500,000-acre reserve that is home to the world's largest remaining elephant herd, and sub-Saharan wetlands, where researchers from the Okavango Wilderness Project have discovered scores of new species. Travelers stay with National Geographic scientists studying the marshlands, go on a tribesmen-led bushwalk into the little-visited Kubango Reserve to track Sitatunga antelope, and swim in pristine highland lakes that feed 3 major rivers, the mighty Okavango, the Zambezi, and the Kwando. Number 8. Bermuda. From sherbet-colored Bermuda shorts and knee-length socks to intense chats about cricket over rum swizzle, the British Empire's colonization of Bermuda in 1612 is still felt today. However, with new initiatives concentrating on black travelers, there are a growing number of experiences that speak to Bermuda's diasporic history and celebrate the island's black culture. Street art tours and restaurants like Art Mel's Spicy Dicey, as well as island-wide itineraries and historic destinations along the African Diaspora Heritage Trail, are included on an online portal. Number 7. Chiapas, Mexico. The Mexican state of Chiapas, located just across the border from Guatemala, is known for its lush, rugged highlands, which are home to almost a dozen important Mayan archaeological sites. The ancient ruins of Palenque date back to 266 BC. You'll hear ancient languages, and eat centuries-old cuisine produced with indigenous ingredients in places like San Cristobal de las Casas and Palenque, near the archaeological site, such as tamales with chapin, a leafy green. Visitors are welcome to join in drinking ceremonies in the San Juan de Chamula Church, which feature the spirit known as Pox, pronounced Posh, which was employed by the Mayans to connect with the underworld, was preserved by the Tzotzil people, and is now popular throughout Mexico. Chiapas is also big on outdoor fun. It's smaller than South Carolina, but it has a cloud forest in the El Triunfo Biosphere Reserve, coffee estates snaking through the Soconusco region, rushing blue waterfalls and rivers for rafting, and even surfing in Puerto Madero on the Pacific coast. Number 6. Coastal England. Artists, poets, and adventurers have long been drawn to England's coasts by its craggy cliffs, fossil-strewn beaches, and charming port cities. Fossil-strewn beaches and charming port cities. when the final portions of the 2,717-mile-long England Coast Walkway link in 2021, becoming the world's longest continuous coastal path. Tracking the wild, windswept coastline will be easier than ever. Number 5. Ghana. Heritage travelers flocked to Ghana in 2019 as part of the Year of Return campaign, which featured huge music and cultural festivals, like Afroshella, to encourage the diaspora to arrange a journey to reconnect with the West African country and their ancestors. Beyond the Return, a follow-up project, will open in 2021 in an effort to further engage the Ghanaian diaspora, with trip-worthy events stretched over the following 10 years, which will be made easier by United Airlines' new non-stop route to Accra, the country's capital, which will begin in the spring. Flights will depart from Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C. 3 times per week. Number 4. Healdsburg, California. California's wine country could use some help, as it recovers from another season of devastating wildfires. Healdsburg, a hamlet in Sonoma County noted for its small-town charm and world-class food and wine, is a must-visit. Montage Healdsburg, pictured, a newly opened retreat on 250 acres of vineyards and oak tree groves, is the place to stay. The majority of the bungalows have outside living areas with fire pits and views of the forest, vineyard, or Mayakama mountain range. The vineyards are overseen by wonderkind winemaker Jesse Katz, and visitors will be kept busy by the huge spa, 3 restaurants, infinity pool, and apiary. In preparation for future truffle hunts with the resort's beautiful Lagotto Romagnolo puppy, 450 hazelnut trees have been planted. Number 3. Hokianga, New Zealand. New Zealand has done an incredible job persuading tourists that its natural beauty and outdoor adventures are worth the long flight. True, but it seemed to always come at the expense of highlighting the country's history or culture. In 2021, it will change. The multi-million-dollar film Maini, which premieres in December, chronicles the narrative of Kupe, the great Polynesian explorer who is credited with being the first to discover the continent, as well as the 1,000 years of Maori history that followed. It's near the area where Kupe is reported to have washed up on the beach in the northern municipality of Hokianga on the North Island's coast. The interactive museum's personnel are all native Maori who can trace their ancestors back to Kupe. Number 2. Indianapolis. Indianapolis kicked off its year-long bicentennial celebration in June, with events continuing through Memorial Day weekend, coinciding with the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500 on May 30th. Indianapolis will also unveil one of its most awaited projects, the Bottleworks District, a mixed-use district in the Northeast named after the Coca-Cola bottling plant that operated there from 1920 until 1969. The 139-room Bottleworks Hotel, which features restored terrazzo floors, plaster detailing, and brass Art Deco patterned doors, as well as a front desk that stands where the building's filler machine room once did, will open this December as part of the $300 million development, which will include a mix of restored Art Deco architecture and new construction. The Garage Food Hall will open in early 2021 with 24 local vendors, including a taproom for Daredevil Brewing Co., craft beer, and a resurrection of La Chinita Poblana, a famous Asian fusion taco joint, followed by an independent movie theater. Number 1. Italy. Italy, which was once the virus's hub in Europe, is predicted to lose €100 billion in travel in 2020, but is already planning a comeback in 2021. Cities will have new places to stay for people eager to return, thanks to grand openings, like Roccoforte's Aghiea in Palermo and the trendy Hoxton in Rome's Salario area. Given Italy's perennial appeal, though, seeking out quieter spots in the new year may be the way to go. Take Central Umbria for example, the green heart of Italy, which is known for charming towns, like Assisi and Perugia, will get its first truly 5-star hotel, when Castello di Recchio, pictured, an estate already filled with custom-designed second homes, for some of the world's most discerning travelers, opens a public hotel inside its namesake 1,000-year-old castle. Guests will have access to the estate's Spanish horse stable and restaurant, which serves the region's famous truffles and porchetta, as well as a list of recommendations and connections from the estate's proprietors, Count Benedict Bolza and Countess Nencia Corsini, a Tuscan princess herself. Aperitivo hours on the lawn stretch on forever, mornings begin slowly, and the hours in between are spent visiting the local villages, which hum at a pleasantly unhurried pace. In other words, it's the Italy we all wished we could return to during a year, when doing so seemed, for a little moment, impossible. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.